Welcome to Alaya, place of connection and acceleration of the true self. Vishtan Hyo, Veninak to Som Jish Labat, Ada Kushalaitum, Vinak to Sunyat Devashat, Kanyak to Vashontia, Nibla Kochina Praja, Vishnektren Shokosha Lakya, Viniktashom Sakya. Deepening the realization of the true self takes place through allowing and embracing the moment. To be aware of the very foundation of life itself, of your life, of all of life, is to realize that the consciousness, the light of the consciousness, is the very presence of existence. As you embrace the very core of your existence, you begin to let go of the past. You let go of expectations and simply move into allowing. For within allowing, you accelerate. You move beyond the programs of beliefs and concepts of conditioning of the past. We live in a world full of systems, structures, conditions, and beliefs. But to awaken to the true self, you move beyond those things. And you suddenly realize that you are the creator of your existence, of your realization, also of your transcendence. We approach a great transformation, bringing forth the evolution of the human. The past has had a grip on humanity, on existence, and even yet, there's much conditions and beliefs, very much. When you look around you at the world, you see this ravening, cageous, monstrous past belief. The very philosophy of life leads to separation. And if left go on its own, it will lead to the demise of the human race. Now that's serious. But to realize that within you, as you allow yourself this expansion, you move beyond the beliefs, the conditioning, the boundaries of the past. For around us there are many things that control, many beliefs and concepts, all from the past, from they say. So for you to embrace the evolution of the true human that you are, you no longer abide by they say. You no longer live in fear from the outside. Oh, it may be scary. It may be dreadful to see what's taking place. But to allow and embrace yourself brings into your awareness a higher place of realization of being. To allow, simply to allow that you are far more than you've ever realized, that there's more to you than the outside. If you look outside, you just see the limitations, the beliefs, concepts, the programming, which leads to all sorts of disaster. But we are about transformation. We are stepping into an evolutionary change through allowing an expansion and letting go. You cannot cling to this life. You let go of it to see where it's going to go. As long as you are programmed, holding on to beliefs and conditioning, you remain trapped in the past. To begin to embrace life in its fullness is a big step for the human, but a mighty small step for those that are truly aware of what the consciousness is, the very light of the body. To begin to participate in this transformation, you begin by letting go of the past, letting go of all the beliefs and concepts you've grown up with. Those have served their purpose, but no longer have a purpose, because in this evolution of transformation of the human being, you move beyond those things. You can no longer be controlled by the conditional belief and consciousness of the past. To become the very presence of consciousness, the very presence of light, is to realize that a very small particle of light that you are is very much a part of the whole of the consciousness. The consciousness is everything, is all of creation, but is experienced in small parts. To realize from within yourself, there is a spark that is the consciousness. The rest is the human, the beliefs, the concepts, and the conditioning. We can't help that. That's where we've come from. But it's not where we're going. When you recognize that there's much more in store for you as the consciousness. The consciousness is all that is. And every particle of that is everything. It flows, expands eternally. So you look out around yourself and you see all the limitations, the consequences of beliefs and conditioning. They say. There are many teachers, many philosophies, many books teaching something, but you can't teach the true self, the consciousness that you are. That is to be experienced. And that is experienced as you let go of the conditions of they say. It's kind of a scary move because you suddenly realize that you cannot depend on the outside. You cannot depend on others. It's to come to your true self. And you do that by letting go of the false. You embrace the very core of yourself. That is the very bit of light that you are as consciousness. The consciousness is eternal. There's no boundary, no limit, no other. That's hard for the intellect because humans have been programmed for the other, whatever one might call it. It's nothing. The only real thing is the light of the consciousness, and that is eternal. It's not limited. It's absolute. But the intellect, the very mind of yourself, clings to what was, or what might be, or they say. Oh, everything means well. Beliefs mean well, teachings mean well, laws mean well, but only the consciousness and the evolution of the human being is the true course of this existence. We are in a state of transforming, and as you let go of who you were or what you are, or what they are, or what the world is, you begin to experience the truth that is the consciousness, that is everything. It's hard to see it because the mind intellect is stuck. It is stuck in the beliefs, the conditioning. It is stuck in the past. It is stuck in they say. And first of all, we just allow that everything is. You begin embracing the isness. And that is the step where you begin to see through this conditioning. You suddenly realize there's no other. There is only the consciousness, the absolute, the totality. You can look out into the night skies and see the consciousness. Every star, every creation, every particle is simply the consciousness, the light that it is, glowing brightly. And so, for humanity, it is time for the evolution of humanity to move beyond what it was, to let go of what is believed to be it is. It's a new adventure, and it begins by letting go. It begins by embracing a higher possibility to see beyond the mortal existence of what was and to become something that is beyond. Now, I know the intellect says, well, that's impossible. We're just human beings. We're doomed. Well, from that spot, we are doomed. You look around the world and you see everything that's going on. We're certainly doomed. Everyone is working some way against to control, trying to control humanity. But the light, that is the consciousness, cannot be controlled. You only look at it that way. The mind intellect holds it that way. But it's just holding. It's like looking at a picture. The picture is the reality. So the mind says, that's the way it looks at life. This is reality. This is not the reality. This is the limited mind caught in the intellect as that's what is. But within you, there is a spark. There is a spark of light. That light is the consciousness. Everything in creation is part of the consciousness. It's hard to see because we're so programmed through the intellect that, well, what we see is what we get. To begin to realize, to evolve, you begin to see that what we see, what we think, is not it. That is simply a story. So humanity is caught in this story, a story of the other. But as you wake up to your true self, you realize there is no other. There is only the consciousness. Now, I know that sounds, but what is the consciousness? The consciousness could be called many things, and is called many things. But all descriptions, all labels, is simply a way to try to contain and control the light. And when you realize the light cannot be controlled because it is the very presence of the consciousness. The consciousness is all, absolute, eternal. So humanity is in a stage of possibility. It can either experience its demise or it can transcend and move beyond the boundaries and limitations held in the intellect mind by physical presence. It is a giant step, a humongous gift to realize. that you are far more. You are destined for a greater reality, but you must let go of the old reality. You can't cling to the past. You can't cling to beliefs or conditioning. You simply must take this step. And that is a step into the unknown because it is beyond the grasp of the intellect. They say does not fit. Nothing written, nothing spoken, nothing experienced in this world is just a story, just a belief. And as you embrace the consciousness, the light, you move beyond that. And then we can look around us and see what's going on in the world, which leads to disaster, destruction, fear, anger, jealousy, greed. Those are human conditions, a consequence of beliefs, of stories from the past. To begin to be in the evolution, the transformation of the human being is to simply let go. To let go what you've been told, let go what you think, just let go. Of course, the intellect says, well, if I let go, there's nothing. What will happen to me? Hopefully, you'll be free. You begin to realize that what is within you, the very light that you are, is the consciousness. And it has no boundary. It has no limit. It is everything. You cannot be without it. You do. And the mind, intellect, beliefs of separation. To recognize the new human, the very presence of the new human, is leading the way to transformation. Being the new human is transcending the old, transcending the beliefs, the concepts, and the conditioning of what we are. To be the new human is to be the very presence of the consciousness itself. And believe me, to look from that perspective, you see a whole different creation. You see greater possibilities. You see beyond the pain of a limited existence as a human being, where you are more than a human being. All creation is simply the light participating in discovery. Everything serves a purpose, but the greatest purpose is nothing, to go past everything and move as light itself. And that is a grand adventure that cannot be imagined through the intellect, can only be experienced in the total letting go of all that is from the past, beliefs, concepts, and conditioning. Letting go of the ideal of what it is to be a human being. That is just a limitation, a boundary, brought on by controllers that insist upon controlling the world, controlling your life. They may do that from the physical point of view, but that doesn't mean it's controlling you, because you begin to see beyond those programs, that conditioning, those beliefs, where the consciousness is all. It's even the limitations. It abides in this physical world, but not bound or limited by it. It is simply like a looking glass. And oh yeah, the kaleidoscope of experiences will soon pass, soon move beyond those things to realize the light that is the consciousness. So, to begin to know within yourself that you are far more than you ever could imagine. You are far more than the world around you can even understand. You are beyond understanding. To experience the consciousness, the light, the very presence of existence is the way of becoming the new human.
Shantara says, thanks, Ishvara.
You're welcome.
Johannes says, a wonderful and thrilling talk, letting go, embracing the unknown, seeing the great picture, and beginning to live out of it.
Wonderful.
Anna and Slava say, brilliant and wonderful. Thank you so much, Ishvara.
You're welcome.
And Todd says, such a powerful talk. Thank you, Ishvara.
You're welcome.
And Johannes follows up saying, thank you.
You're welcome. Every one of you are part of this inspiration that is the very presence of light, the very presence of the new human that we are becoming very quickly. So thank you for your love and support.